Hello, Janksters. We've got a fun one today. This is a budget brew. As such, there are only 4 rares in the entire thing. So if you have some commons and uncommon wildcards, you can put this together. Now, you may want to upgrade the mana base if you've got the lands in Orzhov or if you have the extra wildcards. I would highly recommend the Surveil lands and the Fast lands, the Concealed Courtyards. Pretty great. But I'm committing to the budget bit, and as such, the only rare in the deck is Raise the Past, and it's a 4 of because this is the key element that we need in order to do the thing. The goal is to cast Raise the Past and win the game on the spot. I noticed this is actually something that I've seen a couple other people doing out in the play queue, and it got me thinking, so this is my twist on it. The goal here is to have a ton of enter the battlefield triggers. We have cards like Hinterland Sanctifier and the Lifecreed Duo, which when other creatures enter the battlefield, you gain a life. We also have Elas il-Kor, who does the same thing. And so the goal is we hit a lot of these all at once. We're gaining life for all of them. And then the Starscape Cleric is going to be draining our opponent for all of the life that we've gained. Now, in order for this to work, we need to fill our graveyard like crazy. And that is where cards like the Snarling Gorehound and Faerie Dreamthief come in. These cards give us the opportunity to surveil. Fun fact, Surveil can just be mill, except we don't run the risk of milling our Raise the Past when we need it. We also have Splitskin Doll and Helpful Hunter as bodies online that can block, keep us alive as we're going, but more importantly, draw us cards to keep the lands flowing, make sure that we actually get to 4 mana on time, and just keep cards moving. Hopefully those cards will be other, creatures that can help us surveil, get things into our graveyard, or the copies of Raise the Past that we need to actually fire and win the frickin' game. I think that's the bottom line. So I went full Orzhov with mine. You could go like a Golgari bend and include things like the Brood Spinner, which is a pretty cool 2-drop. So those cards do exist. They're out there. But honestly, if we can get a Snarling Gorehound down and get a couple of triggers off of it, I think that will be enough. The other cool thing about that is, once the Gorehound is live, you'll be able to surveil so much that if you hit one Raise the Past, even if it isn't a lethal shot on the spot, you get to probably dig until you find your next one. And so you can just put it on top of your deck, and so the next turn, assuming there is a next turn, you get to untap and just rip it again. It's pretty darn cool. Well, after you attack and let all your things die, of course. Yeah, it's pretty neat. The other one that I am curious about that I don't know if it's good or bad necessarily is the Nurturing Pixie. The idea behind Nurturing Pixie is when it enters, in the early game, we can use it to bounce back our Helpful Hunters or Splitskin Dolls in order to continue churning through cards. And it also produces it's a 2/2 blocker if we do that. Otherwise, it's just a 1/1 blocker for 1 that our opponent will probably want to deal with. It can also kind of apply pesky pressure on planeswalkers and removal spells and those kinds of things. So, it's not bad for what we need it to be. One note, though, the Nurturing Pixie is unable to bounce the Faerie Dreamthief, as it specifically says non-fairy. I'm sure they added that particular text so that it doesn't bounce itself repeatedly, which does make sense, but yeah, as a result, we can't pick up the Faerie Dreamthief. Just be aware of that. If you want to pull that off, sorry, no dice. But yeah. So here we go. That's the deck. The whole idea, we get a lot of little 1 and 2s into our graveyard, rip Raise the Past, profit. Just put 30 plus triggers on the stack and call it a day. Yeah, let's run out. This is definitely some play queue nonsense. I don't know if it's going to be ladder viable. We're going to try it, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. All right, let's rip it. Okay, I know I just said this deck was play queue nonsense, but I am in the ladder. We'll see if it works. So in this particular hand, we do have the Hinterland Sanctifier, so we have a 1-drop. Now, both of our lands are going to be tapped, which are not ideal. But we also have the Raise the Past, Helpful Hunter. I think we try this. Not having a Gorehound is definitely a bummer, but I'm hopeful that the Helpful Hunter can help us, can help us out and find what we need. All right, the Neglected Manor. These lands, by the way, as far as commons go, I think are pretty interesting. The idea that, they get you the benefit if somebody's hurt, I think is very, I don't know, it's interesting. It's a neat design. I like it. And if your opponent is on hyper aggro, your turn 3 or 4 land might be untapped as a result, which, okay, like I'm cool with that. I'm gonna go ahead and split the Skin Doll, which, gross. All right, I probably should have done this first. Oh, thank goodness. In case of tap land. If we drew into a tap land, it would have been a real bummer. So I should have played the doll first before playing our land drop. I'm just gonna make a note of that for later, and yeah, and keep on moving. So next up, though, we can play the Plains. Ooh, baby, baby. All right, I think I'm gonna lead off with the Starscape Cleric. Now our opponent is on the Artist Talent and the Case of Uneaten Feast. They are working. They're working up to something. They're up to no good over there. I can tell. All right, so we're gonna be gaining life. We're gonna keep draining, and we're drawing. Let's go. Excellent, and they're already at 11. Boom. All right. So any painful lands that we have will be entering untapped, which is pretty decent. Any neglected manors that we draw into. And so here's the other thing. This deck does just produce kind of a dangerous position to be in. And they're going to go ahead and Season of the Burrow, which does exile, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, of course it does. At least we get to draw cards. Honestly, those are the two most important pieces that we have, so losing them does bite tremendously. And I don't love it when things bite tremendously. Believe it or not. I know that might be... It's a wild thought, but it's true. It's not my preference. All right, so we have the Forlorn Flats and other things. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Helpful Hunter. Going to gain life here. Yeah, those going to exile. Such a bummer. All right, attack these 2/1s. They're going to block one of them, which is going to finally put something into our graveyard. And then I'm going to go ahead and just doink them in the face for 1 there. Yeah, that Season of the Burrow was right on time. Right on time. And they were able to cast it for 4 because of the Artist Talent. Oof. Removal exiling. Like, if they have a Sunfall here, which I'm just going to say it because it's not uncommon. Impact Tremors. Ooh, okay. I've been trying to make Impact Tremors and Heir Apparent work. It's a fun idea, but it's so mana intensive. I have yet to make it work. And actually, Raise the Past was was an element of those decks as well. To mixed success. All right, Dragon Fodder with the Impact Tremors. Let's go. All right, opponent. I see you. I see what you're up to. I'm here for it. Blam, blam. That's just an untapped duel now, which seems decent to me. I'm gonna go ahead and spring that off, and we're gonna do the double gain drain action. Doink, doink. Doink, doink. Swing them out. The one that I'm not worried about is, yeah, the Lifecreed Duo is in the air, which is the important part. And I'm going to bounce the Starscape card back to my hand. All right, so now we are presenting lethal here. Yeah, we don't have the Starscape in our yard, unfortunately. But that's okay. All right. So the cases of the Uneaten Feast with the Impact Tremors, they're doing some good stuff here. I like the idea behind their deck. Hop to it. This is so they're gonna gain 6 life off this and dome me for 3. That's pretty cool. I gotta give them credit. That's a neat setup. I do like it. All right. Yeah, these token generators. No joke. And they have a Warleader's Call in there. Nice. Yep. Alongside the Impact Tremors. Good, good, good. And actually, the Impact Tremors alongside Artist Talent. Oh, that's some sauce right there. All right. We've got 3 dudes in the yard. Oh, and we have enough. So if I throw this without offspringing it, that comes in. We gain 1. Dome for 2. We have 3 in the air. Plus we have 3 creatures in our yard. So they all enter. We gain 3 life off the Lifecreed Duo. And that's going to be 6 damage represented across the Starscape Cleric. So I believe we've got it, unless they have some kind of instant speed token generation, which, yeah, crazier things have happened. All right. GG's, opponent. So no Gorehound is definitely a bummer, but we have the Faerie Dreamthief as a 1-drop and the Nurturing Pixie to be able to bounce it back. Or no, sorry, that's the one that we can't. Dang, it's the one we can't do. But still, this hand looks decent. I'll take it. We've got some early stuff. We do also have a Raise the Past. It is nice having a Raise the Past early. I mean, we don't need it right away, but, you know, it's better to be looking at it than looking for it. That's for sure. All right, and if we were doing a non-budget version, that definitely would be a Surveil land right here, but I'm committed to the budget bit, so here we go. Finding another land is dope. All right, Faerie Dreamthief. See what we got. Starscape Cleric, hello. I'm just going to go ahead and tuck you in my yard for later. Yeah, I'm not going to forget about you. Don't you worry. I'll be back. Just Hang out. Sit tight. I'll be back for you. Another Neglected Manor. So we're hitting our lands. That's dope. Dope upon ropes. Very happy to see that. Lifecreed Duo coming down. It is going to become sheltered by ghosts here because if I have learned anything, it's that any deck running auras draws sheltered by ghosts in their top 10 cards. Every time. But they're leading off with the Gremlin Tamer first, which is fair. I respect that. And maybe I'm wrong. And maybe I'm just being a bit of a turd and I need to just shut up and let the game play out. Ethereal Armor. Okay, that's another good one that they tend to find often. But here's the cool thing. We're trying to just reanimate all our dudes, right? And so as a result, I'm not that worried about chump blocking. You know, I'm more than happy to chump block. Yeah, it is no trouble at all. All right, we're going to bounce that Helpful Hunter. Pixie is slightly swole. All right, and right now we've got two very important dudes in the yard. Those are two super important dudes chilling in the yard. Main phase Entity Tracker. Now, at this point, they can pay Ossification. Yeah, that's D's. All right. Ossification hitting the Pixie. It's unfortunate, but okay, fair enough. Yep, I'm going to chump the 5/6. Tis what it is. Take a little bit of more heat to the face. As one does. All right. So the Helpful Hunter's coming out, drawing us into a Gorehound. I love it, love it, love it. All right. The Snarling Hound, and then we're going to play out the Cleric, which is going to give us a Surveil. That's a Lifecreed Duo going into the bin. That is a big deal. A second Lifecreed Duo is going to double all of the, it's going to double all the life gain coming out of the yard. Again, huge deal. That is a very big deal. All right. So they found the Shelter by Ghosts, because friggin' of course they did. And hitting the Starscape Cleric is a massive blow. That sucks really, really badly. There's also just squat all I can do about it. So here we are. I'm going to go ahead and block both of these. We do have another Starscape Cleric in the graveyard that the Raise the Past will bring back. So I want these dead, not exiled. So there we go. Hey, and now we're at 13, so the Neglected Manor will be untapped. I'm going to enjoy the silver lining on that. Because if we draw a 2-drop creature, we can actually throw it first and then Raise the Past. So if they're sitting on a soft counter, they're going to have me here, which is going to suck, but it is what it is. I probably should have hit Raise the Past first in case of a Phantom Interference. If they get me with a Phantom Interference, I'm going to be big bummed. But they didn't. Hooray. All right. So here we go. Lifecreed Duos gain a whole bunch of life, and for each one gained, the Starscape Cleric is going to trigger unless they have an instant speed way to deal with it. Let's see. Here we go. Just ticking our way down the stack. Tick, 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 tick. All right. You love to see it. Helpful Hunter, I can... Yeah, you can go away. Dude, hey, Sanctifier, appreciate you. We'll be back for you if you wouldn't mind just hanging out. More land? Yeah, lands are great. Snarling Gorehound, perfect. I'm just going until we find a Raise the Past, really. If at any point, if we see a Raise the Past on top, I'm going to stop. There it is. Done. We have a couple more Surveils, and not getting value out of them is a slight bummer, but not the end of the world. It'll be all right. All right. Cool. So we have hurt our opponent a bit, and we're now sitting on another Raise the Past. I'm assuming something we have is going to get exiled again, just because, you know, that deck loves to just exile our stuff. You know, like you do. All right. All right, I want to make sure I stack this correctly. So, I'm going to just chump you. That's first and foremost. I'm going to go ahead and double tap here. And just block down. Is that right? That's probably right. It's close enough, right? The fact that Sheltered by Ghosts grants lifelink just means that, you know, the lifelink and the ethereal armor on the same thing is just outracing this is tough. It's just a tall order. You know? But we're gonna do our best. And honestly, we've put more goodies in our yard, so there is the chance. There's an outside chance that we can make this happen. So here we have the Dream Thief coming in. I want to get that Surveil on, because if that's another creature, I want to have it in the yard to pull back. That was my thought. And we are going to be gaining 2 and draining 2 here, so that's not nothing. We'll take that. Oh, well, that's actually super awkward. So, knowing that that's there, I'm going to be very diligent about how I stack these counters. Or how we stack the triggers, rather. I'm going to have one of the helpful hunters... where is that? I'm gonna have one of the helpful hunter triggers resolve first, if I can get it to the top of the stack here. Oh my goodness, this stack is unreal. I do like when I have unreal stacks though. That's pretty cool. And these are all the life gain triggers. So yeah, okay, cool. So that way, this resolves first. We draw this card, and now we can continue surveilling. All right, cool. Not to mention, we got another. Oh, there was another the Sanctifier in there too. Oh, do we actually have enough here? I might actually have. We might have actually stacked enough life loss here. We also have 4 power in the air. Oh yeah, no, we're definitely good. Good game opponent. All right, I don't math good. Have I mentioned that recently? This hand actually looks pretty rad. We have the Scouring Barrens on 1, leading into either the Dream Thief or the Gorehound, depending on what colors they have and how likely it is that we're going to see removal. If they play out black or white, I probably am going to lead with the Dream Thief with the assumption that it's going to die. Well, Seachrome Coast, okay. The Gorehound might be safe. We'll see. Authority of the Consoles, okay, yeah. Oh, you know what? Or just Secret Option C. Let's just rock them both. They're going to gain some life off me here. And all of our things entering... tapped is a little bit of a bummer, but not the end of the world. All right, so now we get our Surveil on, and we can start filling the yard. I actually do need lands, though. So, you know what, though? I have 2 Surveils. I'm just going to keep digging. All right, so there we go. We got 1 in the yard, and we have a land here, and we're going to get another Surveil off of the Gorehound, if nothing else, in all likelihood next turn. Or we're just going to... We're going to soak up a No More Lies, which would actually be a huge issue for us. All right. Yeah. It's a very real possibility, I'm afraid. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and rock out Elas. Oh, and it just comes right in, no issue. Okay. Interesting. Honestly, didn't expect that. Slap. Yeah, I was absolutely ready for... Oh, Simpson. Okay, interesting. I did not see a Simulacrum Synthesizer coming. They are going to give us stuff to chump, though. So, I'll take it. Sanctifier's coming in. Let's get our Surveil on. And I'm gaining life. You're gaining life. Everybody's gaining life. We're good. Hey, that is a... that is a card I could use. So, here's the Helpful Hunter. I'm going to draw that first so we can draw this and then we surveil the next card, which... we might not want. You know what? I like it. I need to find a Raise the Past, though. So, doink, slap, crash on in. Boom. All right, so we're applying a little bit of pressure, softening them up, and in all likelihood, we're going to be seeing, some big constructs start showing up. Day of Judgment? Okay. So, Elas does do the pings here, which, I wasn't counting on those, but I'll take it. That's nice. All right. The Lifecreed Duo. And now, we don't have the Gorehound to help us surveil anymore, so we're just sort of blind digging right now, which is not my favorite spot to be in. Splitskin Doll, cool. All right. Yeah, if we can find a Raise the Past and they don't have a counterspell, we're going to be very happy. The Simpson deck might not have the counterspell. Maybe not. We'll see. All right. They also absolutely might just get absolutely, absolutely slapped around. We'll see. Who knows? Who's to say? All right, so the Splitskin Doll is going to enter. We're going to gain 2 life off it and draw a card. They're also gaining so much off that Authority of the Console here. So much. It's kind of unreal. All right. 3 Simulacrum Synthesizers. 3 of them. That is the ultimate dreamy nut draw. That's insane. And I really hope that our opponent can understand and appreciate just how insane that is. Because it really is. All right, we're going to go ahead and spring off here. As one does. Yeah, and we need to find a Raise the Past post-haste, and I don't have anything to help me dig. We're 20 cards deep, though, so statistically speaking, we should see one soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed. All right, here we go. Starscape Cleric is doing what it does. Excellent. I enjoy seeing that. We do also have the Dreamthief in the yard, though, which can help us dig, so that's something. Yeah, I'm just going to keep my blockers back. Now, we've gained enough... Oh, God, no! Sunfall exiling was a nightmare scenario for us. That was about as bad as it got. But we did find the Raise the Past at a time when they only have one land down. So they're going to gain a whole bunch of life here. I'm not going to drain them, unfortunately. I'm going to gain a whole bunch of life and also Surveil, which is neat, but... Not as nice as I had hoped. All right. Solid. It is still solid, but not exactly what I was hoping for. Yeah, if those Starscape Clerics were still here, this would have been just about GG's. And that would have been nice. That would have been really nice. Okay, we are reloading our yard right now. That's pretty rad. I like that. And we are going to end this turn with... how many more triggers do we have? Only 2 surveils. So, you know what? Yeah, love it. So, yeah, we're picking it all up. I'm going to draw more cards. So, Sunfall there was brutal. Absolutely brutal. But, see what else they got. So we're now 31 cards deep. We got another Raise the Past in hand. If they have another Day of Judgment or something like that, like the Destroy Sweeper would be fine. We ultimately need to find another Starscape Cleric. We've only lost one so far. We have 3 more in this deck, and we just haven't seen them yet. So here's hoping they show up soon. That would be really neat. Yeah, it would make me kind of super happy. All right. Yeah, no. There's also a decent chance they're running Aetherize or something like that. Okay, excellent. Sweet. I'm assuming that when I attack, there's a very real chance that that my board's going to get bounced. I am going to do it. I'm going to swing. I want to make it count. If I can get in for damage, I need to. I'm going to make them have it. They only have 2 cards in hand. And also, if they have it, I'm going to have to discard a hand size. Oh, no. 3 steps on the Simpson. Whew, okay. So they make another copy. They now have 4 Simulacrum Synthesizers in play. 4 of them. Even at 53, I might be dead on the crackback here. This is kind of insane. That said, we have a Starscape Cleric in the yard. So, depending on how much they block... Yeah, if they block 3 creatures here... Or do they just take it? Oh, they sussed me out big time. Very nice. So this is 24 damage that they're teeing up here. And funnily enough, I'm not afraid of it. That said, I think if we just hit the Raise the Past... I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4... Oh, yeah, the Hinterland Sanctifier's in here, too. That's our Starscape Cleric's going to absolutely just eat their lunch. So, yeah, let's just rip it. They're going to gain life for each one, but I'm going to gain 4 life per, or something like that. So, yeah, definitely enough. I'm going to go ahead and bounce one of these Gorehounds. But, yeah, that's not going to matter. Yeah, we got 57 triggers on the stack. And for each one of these, yeah, they're going to gain their life first, but it just doesn't matter. We more than have it. Yeah, this deck just gets so big. If you can do the thing, it's just so freaking big. All right. That's one thing. When you play this deck, you get to watch this happen a lot. Like, it just is what it is. It's pretty fun, not gonna lie. All right, we have returned, and so has my cat. She's here on my lap. So y'all get to enjoy that. We have two lands, Faerie Dreamthief. And, I mean, the double Starscape Cleric is pretty dope. All right, and we're on the draw, so let's just rock it out. Also, our opponent seems to be a fan of the film Braveheart, the 90s Mel Gibson vehicle, which, by the way, is pretty solid. If you haven't seen that movie, go watch Braveheart. It's pretty solid. Okay, so Scoured Barrens is just going to undo the damage they did that first turn. It's not much, but hey, I'll take it. And we're going to have chump blockers for days, which is really helpful against a lot of these red decks. The thing is, if they get the trample from, like, a Monstrous Rage or something, we're in bad shape. But if they don't, we're living our best life. All right. I probably should have done Scouring Barrens there, but whatever. All right, Dreamthief is going to give us the Surveil here. Lifecreed Duo is awesome, but we also need to start filling our graveyard and make sure we hit the lands and the raise, so let's just keep it moving. All right. When she gives me that look, I can't tell if she's grumpy or happy, you know? It's one of them. Wow, you got to get swifty, as it turns out. All right, so they're coming on in. Yep, I'm going to block here. They're going to Monstrous Rage the Slickshot Show off. I'm assuming. They might have another trick that's the one trick that gives trample that has me curious, or has me concerned. They could do like a Might of the Meek or something. Yeah, Monstrous Rage, there it is. All right. It's almost like I've played this match dozens of times, as I'm sure many of you out there have as well. It is what it is. Okay. Scouring Barrens, we're going to gain life here. Ding, ding. I'm then going to throw the Sanctifier, followed by the Nurturing Pixie, and the Nurturing Pixie is not going to pick up the Sanctifier. That way we have 2 blockers. That's the key. Yeah, in our current scenario, we're not in a good spot. The technical term for it is not amazing. That said, we're gaining life. They're also down to 1 card in hand. So I'm going to assume that they're going to prowess, and I will block what appears to currently just be 1 damage. I'm assuming it's going to be more, and my whole team's going to get blown out. Flowing Trade, sure enough. Prowess triggers. Am I dead? Not quite, but man, it's close. All right. Lifecreed Duo. Gaining more life gain, but it's not going to be enough. Yeah, so we're up to 2, and on the attack, I can block the show off, and then I can block 1 of the Swift Spears. The two of the Swift Spears are going to come in. If they have any combat trick, it's just extra, but they don't even need it. They have lethal right here. We almost held on, though. So I'll take it. That's something. Dreadmaul's Ire, sure. That's unnecessary. We've reached the masturbatory combat trick, but, you know, sure, whatever. Yeah, GG's. I see 3 lands. Decent cards. One piece of card draw. What more could you ask for? I mean, well, actually a lot, but I'm not going to stress that. I'm just going to accept what we've got, and I'm going to be happy about it, all right? I'm going to choose to not be a poopy pants and be grateful for the situation that we find ourselves in. All right. This time. All right. Gorehound. Amazing. Love it. Perfection. Let's go. And yes, I'm leading off with the Gorehound rather than the Sanctifier. The Surveil, to me, is more important than the life gain right now, especially against Dimir. We need control in this matchup. We don't need just a lot of life. I mean, don't get me wrong. Life gain is good, and I'm going to appreciate the life gain that we gather, you know, throughout the game. But for right now, I'm more worried about... yeah, I'm more worried about the Surveil. Okay, get a little double tap. Splitskin Doll is a 2-power creature, which I think is relevant here. They're going to throw out the Gorehound. Very nice. Now, I still have 1 other one, so I'm going to gain a life here and still... So I'm going to draw the card, and it is just a card draw. We don't have to discard. Even though... Honestly, with this deck, I don't mind having to discard creatures. So even if Splitskin Doll is our first creature coming down, that's still fine. They're going to cut that down. Sure. They're going through kill spells, and they're just kill spells. They're just going to my graveyard. Tight. I love that. I love that for me so much, you guys. Oh. Sanctifier. Coming on down. I'm going to then go ahead and go to combats. Going to do a little punchy punches. I'm trying to play a Starscape Cleric. This might get countered. There's a pretty good chance of that, actually. Or they're just going to throw out the Sanctifier. Ah, nice. Yep, that works too. That works too. Well, I'm going to hit the Scoured Barrens and tag it for 1. Haha! All right. Now, the Starscape Cleric can't block, which is a pretty significant bummer, but not the end of the world. Ow, ow. We can attack for 2 with it, though, so that's decent. Oh, you know what we can do? Check this out. Swing for 2. Puts them to 13. Neglected Manor comes in untapped. Let's go! It's the little things. You got to appreciate the little things. All right, Helpful Hunter. And we drew the Raise the Past. There we go. We got it, yo. We freaking got it. And the Dream Thief is going to put a flying blocker online that'll also surveil this one. You know, the deserts are not bad. And I would ultimately like to hit my land drop next turn. Oh, you're gonna anoint. Honestly, the fact that they anointed the Faerie Dreamthief and not the Starscape Cleric is pretty dope, in my opinion. I am totally on board with it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do the double block on here. So my Splitskin Dolls are now in the graveyard where I want them, and we took out a Preacher in the process. Tight. All right. Grip it and rip it. We got the Sanctifiers. We got the Starscape Cleric. Boom, baby. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. In conclusion, I gotta say, I think this deck outperformed my expectations. It was much better than I expected. For the purposes of this video, I recorded 5 games, best of 1 matches in the ranked queue and platinum, and I only lost 1. And it was to mono red, and honestly, it was closer than it looked. I don't know how many of those are going to make it to the video, but at the end of the day, it definitely is playing pretty darn well. The overall power level is very real, and I think there might be something to this. The dependence on the graveyard gives me the feeling that it probably isn't going to translate to best of 3 super well without incorporating a ton of ways to deal with artifacts and enchantments, ways to hate on those things. Because 1 Rest in Peace dropping and the whole game plan just goes to the wayside. But for best of 1, I think this strategy is actually very strong and pretty darn good. It's all in, but man, it's doing a good thing with that dedication to the bit. So I enjoyed it. Thank you for being here. Also, huge thank you to the patrons who help make this show possible. Over on patreon.com/hamhocks42, these folks have actually signed up and are donating dollars each month, and it makes a huge difference. Thank you so much. And you, dear viewer, can join them for as little as $1 a month. It does add up, and it does help a ton. So, Angry Jellyfish, Dave E., Hal, Carl, Levi Gretton, Netsash, Big Mamu, and Vance, thank you so much. You're the best. Thank you. I'll catch you on the next one, everybody.